Hey, this is Rob Dukes. Welcome to the Put Up Your Dukes podcast. I have a very special episode. My intro is going to be real quick. I know I've been flaky on doing these, but it's been a time thing, time management. Just not a lot of hours in a day. Anyway, this episode is with Rick and Garrett from Die Humane, and they are awesome. They are such an incredible band, and I'm really glad that I got to sit down with both of them. And anyway, what's going on in the world? Not a lot. I went to Vegas recently for work. It was a lot of fun. Muppet got shaved because she had matting on her fur, so I had to shave her face. No, I didn't shave her face. I shaved her body, so she's a little teeny cat. Look at her. Isn't she great? And she's just the best. I bought her so I can do this. I actually paid money for this. This is what's known as a doll-faced Persian, and I paid money for her. Cash money. So I can do whatever I want. That's right, Daddy. What did I do? I'm working on some cars, and it's just I've just been slamming that. So that's what's been going on. Oh yeah, so we do have a tour coming up with Flotsam and Jetsam, September 19th to the 30th, playing starting in Atlanta, going up the East Coast, headed left to Detroit, Minnesota, Ohio. It's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to touring with those guys. So, Generation Kill fans, if you're in town in one of the cities, you can go to our website, Instagram, all that stuff, and you can figure out the tour dates. And I hope to see you at the shows. Come out, support the band, buy some merch. We have really cool merch, man. We did some really cool designs and stuff. Thanks to Melody. She took care of all and did an outstanding job. We have pics, we have vinyl, we have shirts, hats. And I'm making these special posters for each city, but there's only gonna be a limited amount. So there's gonna be like 10 per show, and that's it. That's all you get, 10, signed by the band, specific to that city, and then that's it. And then once the 10 go, then it's on to the next, and they're gonna be very special and cool. Different from the tour poster that we're selling. We're doing another cool design for a tour poster. So anyway, I hope you guys come out and support Generation Kill doing that. What else? I really don't have a lot more, man. It's just, you know what? Enjoy the episode. Rick is awesome. Garrett's killer, and they're such a good band. Go out and get their records. Support them. They are an outstanding group of musicians and really good friends. And that's it. I will see you soon. Peace.
Part 2 with Rick Hunolt. What's up, buddy?
How are you, man? I love you so much, Rock.
Me too, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Just the struggle is real, dude. You know, we just released a new album, and so you know, it's different than what most people think. That basically, I'm starting all over again, bro.
Yeah, dude. I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been there. So it's not easy, bro. It's like, you know, when me and Sal, we got a name, a kind of, you know, or whatever that means. I don't know, but you know, since I've been active, what Tempo the Dam with 2005 or something, bro.
Yeah.
So there was no social media back then. You know what I mean? There was no Facebook. Now, come you put out a new record, and I don't even know how to use Instagram. And I'm like, so it's a learning curve, Dukes. It's frustrating. I find it so difficult spending so much time on this freaking phone, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to
slow down a little bit.
What's that?
Tilt your phone down a little bit, because I'm only catching like half of your face. There you go. Much better. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me get it right. I gotta get it right.
Yeah, hold on. There you
better?
go. Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
Is it straight though? I'm all. No, you're good, man. You're
Okay,
good.
cool. So, the name of the album is, you pronounce the name of the band.
Die
I
Humane.
Die Humane, that's how I've been pronouncing
One
it, so I
word.
got it right.
Spotify
Yeah,
makes it make it into 2 words, so it's just
yeah,
one word. Um, and the album's name is The Grotesque.
yeah. Let me tell you, man, so I've listened to it, multiple times,
Brother,
right? Um, and I, it's hard to it's not hard to put into a category. It's truly an original piece of work, man. It has these very powerful songs that are really well constructed, and in between these little bits of beautiful music that kind of binds it all together.
yeah,
It's
the interludes.
dude, it's very deep. It's moody. It's a very cool ride to be on. You know me, I'm the type of guy who will put on a record from beginning to end, and that's just the way I listen to shit. I don't,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? And this album is an experience in its whole, by itself, and I'm very proud of you, dude. Like the guitar work is
Thank you.
phenomenal. The the songwriting is top notch. The vocals, everything, man. The bass, drums, tone, the production, all of it across the board. I give
Yeah.
it a 10 out of 10, dude. I mean, it's
Wow.
a
Rob, thank you so much, dude.
no.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, man. When I got I don't know if we got so I don't know if we got into this on the very first your very first podcast. I was honored to be your very
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. So, well, we did all access. So we're gonna talk Die Humane on this one. So,
Please,
tell me how this came to be. Like, because I
yeah,
know you were home.
of course.
Um, you got sober, which is fucking awesome, right?
13 years.
And so, just explain to me how you met this
Yeah,
group of guys and put this fucking really original piece of music together, because it's not thrash metal by any stretch. It's not even, I wouldn't even call it metal. I would call it, I mean,
you were
it's
you had
it's just it's rock music, but it's just fucking cool, man. It's got a little bit of everything in it. It's fucking
yeah,
great.
really
So
does.
how'd you meet the guys?
So listen, all right. So I was basically retired, and I really had no plans on getting in a band or starting a band. Um, at that point, this is about a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years. So I got a call from our buddy Steve Esquivel,
Yeah,
right? So he calls me and he goes, "Oh, Rick, I know these cats in Texas that are looking for a guitar player, but they don't necessarily want a shredder. They want more of a bluesy guy. You know what I mean? And a feels guy." And he goes, "You were the first one I thought of." And I'm like, "Oh, gee, thanks, man. That's really cool." I said, we talked for a minute. And he goes, "Dude, this." He was going on about the music, and this is when it was really rough, Rob. Um, I even the stuff I sent you earlier, like way before,
yeah, yeah,
that was even more finished than the stuff I heard in the beginning. Uh, and actually, so I'm talking to Steve. I said, "Go ahead, man. Send me a couple cuts." He goes, "Yeah, it's good. It's really rough, but you'll get the idea." So he sends it to me, and it sits on my phone for like 2 weeks, before I even open it up. And so I'm sitting there one day, and I'm like, "Shit, let me listen to this real quick." Um, and it was the song. I believe "Ghost" was the first song that I heard from this band. Um, and I was getting into it for a little minute, and I was listening to it. I'm going, "Man, this is." And when I was listening to it for the first time, I was trying to picture myself playing this stuff live, and it was like, "Wow, this is kind of crazy. This is like this could be a freaking hit, dude." Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, "Wow, this is a really trippy song." It's like way, way different than the one I was used to playing, Rob. You know that. Um,
Hmm.
and, so yeah, so I listened to a couple songs. I got back to Steve. And I was like, well, tell me what's going on with these guys and what's their story and what do they do and all this other stuff. And at this time of the game, Steve had actually there was going to be two singers in this band, and Steve was going to be one of them. Steve was going to do all the lows, and Garrett was going to do all the high stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so and then the stuff I listened to actually had him doing all the lows on it. It was pretty interesting actually. Uh, so we started talking about the guys, and I said, "But give me Josh's. Josh is like one of the main guys. Give me Josh's info." So I got a hold of him, and we talked, and he started sending me more mixes and stuff like this, and I was like, I don't know, it probably took me 3 4 weeks after listening, and it really, I had to talk to my kids and see what's up because once you commit, it's a commitment. You know that, Rob. Um,
Yes.
so I was like, it took me a little bit to make the commitment. So much stuff going through my brain at that time, dude. It's like, and one of the big ones was like, what are the metalheads, what are the thrashers gonna think? Well, and dude, so um, so I just said, I honestly I fell in love with the music, Rob. I was just like,
Yeah.
uh, I actually got most of the mixes on my phone, and I would just press because when I got the first mixes, there was really no places for guitar solos yet. You know what I mean? Um, so what I did is I just pressed play and played lead through every song all the way through, and I would in my mind I would take little excerpts like, okay, that's hella cool. I could do that, and that, and then this and that and that, and like that's basically how um I got a lot of the constructions of the solos that I did together like that. And then, so I made the commitment to Josh. I'm like, okay, Josh, I'm in. I really, I like the music. I really want to do this. We made some studio time with Oric Wild, who's major producer.
Yeah, he's big time, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
such a sweetheart too, Rose. Man,
Yeah.
he's such a good dude. I love him so much. It just made the whole process that much more wonderful, you know what I mean? Working with a guy like that, it's just like, wow, he's, like, really good. Um, so, I get in the studio and I got 3 days to do 12 songs. So we cut them 4 songs every day, and, just Josh was there. I like, man, it'll be really helpful. So he flew from Texas to Hollywood. Um, and we sat at the studio for 3 days and just knocked them out. And,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm pretty happy with what came about, actually.
You should be so proud of it, dude, because it's so good. I love the different
Yeah.
tones you use. I love the different effects you use. And I mean, I always knew you were a fucking killer blues player from that time we were in Chicago and you jump up and
Yeah.
with that blues band and just started shredding for an hour. And yeah, so and even with Exodus, you always had the more bluesier
Yeah.
uh stuff. And Gary was kind of more technical, and but you had it, yeah, yeah. You were always more blues. You had more feel, a little. So, that being said, it's no surprise that you were able to, uh, expand your horizon and do something like this because it was, it really is. It's not a, I hope being a music, I like everything like you, man. We like all different kinds of music, man. We like rap, we like hip hop, we like blues, we like jazz, we like metal, we like fucking
Absolutely.
ska, so
Man,
here
it
it
was
is.
fun when I met you, bro. You played for me on the bus when you were doing Gary's guitars. You
Yeah,
played in a ska band, dude.
yeah, I did. I was in a ska reggae band, like a
Dude,
Sublime type band.
that's me, and I'm like, that shit was so cool. And then,
Yeah,
and then we heard your vocals, and we're like, dude, wow,
yeah,
dude, let's do this.
yeah. Um, so, and then you can hear the little nuance of I mean, I heard I forget what song it is, but you have like this, you're using like a surf rock tone with the
Yeah,
with the little delay, dude. It was fucking, I'm like, oh yeah.
that remember it's a so that's crazy. I can't wait to do that whole okay, so that's like the opening track of the album. It's called The King of Nothing. We call it The Bruiser. But and then and it's a low like drop B, super low, like real
Yeah.
hard thing with all these weird avenues that it goes in and out of. I mean, uh, and at the end of that song, it fades out a little bit for like about 8 measures, and then we go into this crazy like jazz like outro. You know what I mean, right? So that's
Yeah.
on your sound. It's what it is. It's a vibrato. It's a vibrato tone. Yeah, and it's a
Yeah.
wow, wow, wow. So I'm just doing like these weird chords, and it's going wow, it's badass. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah.
I was gonna add to that, dude. So as well as anybody, like when you're playing lead guitar to a bit to music like Exodus, bro. It's like it's frantic, always on 10, very little dynamics going on. It's
Yeah.
just amps are shredding and the guitars are on 10. So for me to get in a recording situation and to actually lay down some tracks that fit this music, it was like a real at first it was a real chore for me, Rob. There's like so much space in this music, you know what I mean? There's no,
Yeah.
there's never space in Exodus music like that.
No, 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 man.
So
It's
I was like, this is crazy. You know, I
yeah.
I couldn't just pick up the guitar and play a million notes. It wouldn't fit. You know,
No, no. This has like elements of like Pink Floyd.
no,
Has
seriously,
element. It has elements of Faith No More a little bit. It
yeah,
has Mr. Bungle a little bit.
absolutely. Yeah.
It has there's so many influences, and you can't say, oh, this is a. That's why I can't say Die Humane is like a. To me, I'm just going to call it a rock band because you're so all over the map.
Yeah, I'm
And
cool with that. I'm cool with that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I think yeah, it's hard to label this band. People are all kinds of labels they're trying to put on us, but whatever you want to call us, man, it's all good.
but you know what? But also you could play with you could go on any festival and play in a metal community. I think it would be accepted. I think it would be I think it if you were asking me, I'd be
Yeah,
like, yeah, I could watch them at a metal festival or a rock
yeah.
festival or
So,
those festivals where everything is connected like it'd be the Killers and Guns N' Roses and Exodus
oh yeah,
and fucking that you guys I mean
Black
you know
Eyed Peas. We had the Black Eyed Peas and David Bowie. Remember that festival?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh,
I
yeah,
forget where we were, but it was super hot. Remember? And,
yeah,
Black Eyed Peas and David Bowie on the big stage, and then we were down over here. Well,
and on that
that's one of the things that's one of the things right now that we're trying to hash out. Is like, do we want to play? Would we want to go would we go on tour with like a band like Exodus? I don't know about that. But we could do festivals with metal bands like Exodus, but
yeah,
I don't know about touring. Uh, there's a lot of bands we would like to go out with on.
yeah.
And we'll see what happens. But that's going to be a challenge. Finding the right bill is going to be super important.
So have you guys gotten together as a band and rehearsed the stuff as a
Oh
full
yeah,
song?
we just hired a new
So
sax player. Uh, we're looking for we have a couple violin players on hold right now, and we're trying to figure out which one we're going to go with. Uh,
so you're not gonna use keyboards, you're gonna go with actual violin players and sax players. Dude, that's fucking awesome.
dude,
That's so
everything you hear on
awesome.
the album, Rod, everything you hear on the album is real music. That's all real.
I know. No, no, I know that, but sometimes people just go the shortcut, they do it live with a key, but I find it fucking way better that, yeah, we're gonna bring violin players and fucking sax players.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, and this is how I explain it to the band. Um, having sax and violin is going to separate us from the masses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
you could go out with the Black Keys. You could go out with like you could go out with yeah, you know, you could go out with anybody really. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it would be I don't know. Yeah, so
I just think that it's what separates us from most bands is that we have that production. There's a
yeah,
lot of potential in a live setting for this music for sure. It's gonna take some planning and shit like that, but we're on it, dude. We got everybody in this band is so freaking creative, dude, and so
yeah.
talented. It's unreal.
Good, man. Well, I'm super proud of you, dude. I'm
Thank
super
you, bro. It's so
stoked that yeah. Yeah,
whatever.
it does, man. A lot of times you're not ready to just jump back in. You need a little bit of a check on yourself and kind of go, okay, I'm gonna, this is what I want to do, or
Yeah.
but yeah, you always have the Exodus legacy. It's not like, if you could go jump on stage tomorrow and play with those guys. You know what I mean? It's not like, and so it's that's part of your life, part of your legacy, and this is a really nice extension of where you've come full circle in your life, man. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's a really it's a nice thing to see, man. It really is, man.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate it. I love you so much, dude. That's awesome, dude. Hey, yeah, it's I'm hella lucky, dude. I mean, these guys, I just can't wait to get on stage with these kids, man. Really.
Yeah.
So the bass player and the keyboardist they've done live stuff, but not too much. You know what I mean? They never
Yeah.
played in front of like a big crowd. You know what I mean? So it's gonna
Okay.
be for me. That's like one of the highlights of this whole thing is being able to get up on a stage in front of a lot of people and just experience it with these cats. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be magical for real.
Yeah.
Sal's playing in front of thousands of people. You know, and he's just a beast anyway. Uh, and Garrett's got he's got some experience. He's a man. Let's talk about Garrett for a minute. Holy shit!
Dude, yeah, I'm gonna get him on next, dude. And
Yeah, I told him that, and he goes, "Dude, I want to do Rob's. I want to do Kings Park," and he was so stoked, bro. You're one of his heroes, man. Telling you.
yeah, man. He's got an amazing voice, and he's got amazing restraint and able to put it where it belongs rather than just fucking. It's
Right.
very, very cool, man. It's very, very good.
So good at like you, Phil Anselmo and Mike Patton, Lane Staley, of course. Those are all his main influences. Because the boy he can growl with the best of them, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's got a beautiful singing voice. His singing voice is fucking. He's all over the map, which is, yeah. That I mean,
The other thing
looks like
is so he can sing like that, like at any given minute, any time of any day. He can just sound. If that's what makes him so good, he'll just sit there and he'll just start screaming like Bob Halford. I'm like, he's really great.
that's good, man. Yeah, the whole band is. I love the bass tone that
Yeah.
got. The bass
Yeah.
tone is killer.
Yep.
All the guitar tones are great. And it's cool, like the really atmospheric stuff that's in between the songs. Um, you know, me, I love the band Tool.
Oh yeah. Me too, bro.
You and I like Tool, Pink Floyd, and
Yeah.
are some of my favorite bands, and it has that atmospheric stuff, that's very moody, and you can hear it.
Yeah.
You can hear the mood into it, and then the song will kick in, and then the mood changes, and
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing, man. That's what I love about music the most.
That's what you said. You said, "I'll never forget this." When I sent you the first track about a year ago, you texted me. The first words you texted me, "Dude, that's my shit."
Yes, it really is.
That was awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, Faith No More, fucking Pink Floyd. Yeah, man. I mean, Mike Patton is him and Halford are my favorite singers that are alive, and Freddie Mercury being my favorite singer of all time. But Mike Patton, his ranges, I listen to every band he puts out, and I know he's so fucking talented. And I hear some of that in this, and I hear the influence of that. But I also hear like Pink Floyd, and I hear a little bit of Tool. But it's also it's not a ripoff. It's completely its own thing.
Yeah.
And
The influences are just coming out a little bit. You know what I mean?
yeah, man.
No way. It's a
We all
ripoff.
do that.
If you got the actual vinyl,
No, I didn't
there's
get
a
it
couple
yet,
covers
but
on there, badass. You'll see them. I'll send it to you.
okay.
I'll send it to you.
All right.
It's a double
Yeah.
vinyl. Got a turntable. I'll send you a record.
Oh, I got a turntable. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got a bunch of vinyl. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
dude.
fun. I just want to play some shows, bro. That's our next phase. We're working on right now. We're working on doing a live stream. So in order to prepare for, we need to show these people in the business what we're all about live. You know what I mean? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna set up what a Die Humane show is gonna look like in a big place like SIR or something like that, and
Like controlled area, right? Yeah.
do a live stream with production, and then we need an agent, bro. Anybody out there? We need an agent.
Yeah. But booking agent?
Yeah, we need a booking agent. We need an agent.
Just got one. Yeah. We just Generation Kill just got one,
dude.
And
you ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. No. So you need you can't do shit without one. We've tried it. It doesn't work.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean?
I mean, sit there and try to map out a 30 or 40 day tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Also, so do you have is your label behind you as far as putting together a live show and helping you out and helping you get to the right places you need to get? Is that all coming together, or are you guys basically on your own looking for?
That's a good question. We're right now at this very moment, we're doing everything. We're so Oryx label Worm Group. So he's a major producer, mixer guy. You know? When you want your shit to sound awesome, you call it Oryx. He's done like Pantera, White Zombie, Alice in Chains, all these huge records. So and he's got a little label called Worm Group. You know, we're trying to do everything. So our bass player Josh is a cinematographer. So we're about to release a new video Tuesday, and he does all our video shit. Well, he's done videos for Down, all kinds of Texas bands. He's pretty well known.
Cool.
So we've got that, and we're trying to keep everything in house as of right now. We don't really. I mean, if we got the right deal from a label, we might think about it, dude. But we don't see that as the future. We see being independent and subscription based websites and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So we think everything's going to be subscription based. Like you subscribe, and then you get content and all this other stuff from the band. You know what I mean? I think that, especially with AI, dude, AI is going to change everything in our biz, bro. So we're looking at it from the point of view, like, is there in 5 years, is there even going to be a record label? You know what I mean? It's like, you know,
that's the way of the world right now. I mean, record labels are almost dinosaurs, man.
They're I mean, unless you're like
established. Yeah, other stuff you're already established. Yeah,
100%. You know, guys like us are like, dude, I'm struggling to get 1,000 likes. You know what I mean? It's like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and what's crazy too is like I know that part of the game is that you know, people that you can buy like fake likes and fake people to make you seem bigger than you are. And
dude, that shit's great.
Yeah, I mean it's really crazy. And you know, but you know what the worst would do is you'd have a million followers, and then you do a show and 26 people show up. You know what I mean?
You know
That's
what I'm
that's
saying?
that's so. I think a live stream. I mean, we thought about doing that too, like doing one of our rehearsals live before we did tour. We were trying to tour, but COVID fucked everything up, and we didn't get out. But now we just got a booking agent, and now we're starting to think
Yeah.
I'm getting phone calls and we're getting offers to go do shit and
Because your band
so
chill, bro. Generation chill. We love your band so much, bro.
yeah.
Everybody
Thanks,
show
man.
loves your band. Seriously.
Thanks, man. Yeah. And
they
we're
not
not
only
trying to
love
be
you, they love Rob Dukes for sure. You know
yeah.
that.
Well, the one thing about Generation Kill is I'm able to like step aside from the Exodus thing and actually sing and do other stuff too. That's kind of one of the cool things about
No, for
Generation
real.
Kill.
For real.
It's not yeah. So
That's
that-
the first thing everybody says. Right? Bottom line is, man, Rob's a good singer. I've known him for years, man. Rob can sing that song.
thanks, bud. Yeah,
Uh,
man.
Hell yeah.
I think I'd have to say most fun tour I ever did in my entire lifetime was when you came to Europe with us for 6 weeks in 2013. That was one of the 2012. Yeah, it was
That
one
was
of the
so
greatest trips we had. We had nothing but laughs and fun the entire fucking time. I mean, it was fucking crazy how much
was
fun we had. Yeah,
Yeah, it was awesome. And we got to go to Sardinia for 10 days, dude.
yeah. It
That-
was, man.
My goal in life right now is to get back to that island, dude.
I
I'm
hear you,
serious.
man.
I
I hear you.
seriously,
Me too.
I want to experience that place with my family, dude. For real.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That place
yeah,
was,
man.
and you know what we didn't do? I didn't realize when we were there that there are so many crazy, like, epic artifacts there from like ancient civilizations.
Yeah,
Did you know that? Oh, it's crazy.
yeah. I drove and saw some of them. I drove like the first couple days. When we were in before we were in Oba, and then we went down to Galliganon. The first couple days, when I left and drove all the way around the island and saw a bunch of cool shit, and then realized that Oba was just like, no, there's a better spot. Let's go find that. And everybody came down to where I was because it was like such a cooler little village,
Awesome. What was the name of that town? That little town we were at?
Galliganon.
Galliganon? And that was at
Galliganon.
Olbia, right?
Yeah, it was after that. We went down. There was like a little fishing village, and we got the boat. We rented the boat. We went to the beaches all around the island. But yeah, man, that was Galliganon was the spot. And then,
Hey,
uh,
is that your little dog, Rob?
yeah, where is it? Yeah,
Oh, cutie, dude.
she's actually being quiet right now. You know, normally she's barking at the
I was like, damn, that's a badass little gray dog. I was like,
yeah, little Daisy Doodlebug. Yeah,
are you in your backyard right now in Arizona?
yeah. So yep,
One of these days, I'm
my back. You should, man. I'm actually taking a motorcycle trip in July up the coast, so I'm gonna head up and I'm gonna see you and Lee and
Wow.
I'm gonna my friend Rob. I'm actually going from here to LA, and then I'm gonna go all the way up the coast to like Portland, and then
Wow.
from Portland I'm gonna cut across to Yellowstone, and then I'm gonna go back through Vegas and back home. It's really like a 10, 12-day trip. I'm planning it, and it's at the end of July, early August. Get out of the heat here
Yeah.
and head up the coast.
It's going to be magical, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I need a
So
good
how-
motorcycle trip.
Where are you from Lake Powell?
Lake Powell. Is that I don't know where that.
It's on the border of Utah, and Arizona.
Oh, 2 hours. I'm 2 hours to Utah.
2 hours. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Lake Mead. It's Hoover Dam, then it goes into Lake Mead, and then the Colorado River goes into Lake Powell. You know what I mean?
You know what? It might be 4 hours. I know it's 2 hours to Flagstaff. An hour and a half of an hour and a half if I'm on my motorcycle, but it's 2 hours to Flagstaff by car, and then it may be like another hour and a half, 2 hours to the Utah border. Because I've been to Monument Valley, I've been to Page, and I went to I get on my motorcycle every now and again, and I'll roll up to like the northern Arizona Globe and Sedona and ride all the back roads back there, and
Yeah,
and
badass.
yeah, just to get out of the valley, because the Valley of Phoenix is in. I live about 30 minutes outside Phoenix in Chandler, and it's really hot here in the summer. So the trick is to get out of town on the weekends and get out of the heat. If you drive like an hour north, you're out of the valley, and the heat drops like 20 degrees.
Yeah,
So
right. It's badass. Me and my kids went there. It's like elevation. It's like what 8,000 feet or something, 4,000.
yeah, it's real high, and plus
I like.
it's very cool, man. I go up there, I ride my motorcycle. There's a back road called 89, which runs back. It's all like twisty, turny roads, and you know me, I'm a sport bike guy, not a Harley guy. So
Yeah,
I roll up there and have coffee and turn around and come back. I've done that many a Sunday morning. 5 o'clock, get up, ride there, get coffee, turn around, come back, and yeah, home by 11. Yeah.
so listen,
So
when can we do Garrett?
uh
I'll have him contact you.
yeah, just give him my number, dude. Have him call me. Me and him will work out a time.
All right, cool.
I'm working in the next couple days. I'm working at home, but I'm real busy. I'm building. You can see the car.
I'll see. I was gonna mention that thought. What year?
Yeah, it's 68. Year I was born. I'm making it. I'm totally restoring it. So the pan, I'm replacing both floor pans.
Oh shit.
I'm welding in new ones. A new and I'm basically replacing everything.
Right.
And you know, I rebuilt the pedal system. It's gonna have like a big motor, big trans.
Holy cow.
It's gonna be a 2-seater. It's gonna have a fuel cell. It's gonna be like a hot rod, like a street hot rod, man. I got
Yeah.
big ass tires on it and fucking jacked it, raked it, so it's like a, you know, yeah, it's gonna be cool as shit, man. Yeah, putting a roll cage in it, just a 6 point, and then yeah, man, it's gonna be cool as shit. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Right on.
So
And then you'll sell it.
and then I'm gonna sell it. Yeah, I'm gonna build it and sell it as a Rob Dukes original. And I'm completely building everything myself. The trans, the motor, the whole shit. I'm not.
That's big.
I'm not.
That's big work.
It's big work, man, but it's gonna be built by me and it's gonna be custom. So
Hell yeah.
somebody's gonna buy and go, cool. I just went to a Volkswagen show. There was like 1,000 cars there, right? And my idea in my head, not one of them was there. I was like, all right, no one has the idea that I have in my head. So that's the plan. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Then you'll take it to one of these shows and then sell it. The Dukes.
Yeah. Pretty much. All
I
right,
love
dude.
you so much, Rob.
I love you, Rick. Man, you be good, brother. And
I'm gonna send you some stuff.
okay, man. Just text me and I'll give you my address and yeah.
I'll send you some
Honestly.
stuff. I'll get it in the mail today. I love it. Man.
Okay. Love you, bud. Peace.
Bye.
So everyone, this is Garrett from Die Humane, and you're from Texas, correct? I can see the flag.
Yes, sir.
Where at?
Fort Worth, Texas, just next to Dallas.
Okay.
Where Pantera's from, same area.
Okay. My family's from Lubbock.
Very nice. My mom's
Yeah.
originally from Lubbock. She was born up that way.
Both my grandparents are from there. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice little dust bowl of a town.
oh yeah, I've been there a couple times. There's nothing going on.
It's just Texas Tech, and that's about it, and some honky tonks.
Yeah. So how old are you?
I am 32. Yeah, just turned 32 last December.
Okay. Well,
Sir.
listen, but I just want to get it out of the way, and then I'm going to talk with you. But I just want to get out of the way. The album is the Die Humane, the Grotesque is. I've listened to it about I think maybe 6 to 7 times, like all the way through, headphones on, no disturbances, and what an incredible album we put together with an incredible group of musicians.
Yeah.
And you should be very proud of it, man. It's
I
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And honestly, that's the best way to listen to it as well. Just straight through few times. Don't even give it just one listen. Give it. You're gonna miss stuff if you just listen to it one time. Like it's good to
Yeah,
listen to it a few times, give it a few spins.
exactly. So I did. That's exactly what I did. When I talked to Rick the other day, and
Yeah.
because I listened to it twice before Rick even called me, and I was just I'm really proud of Rick as far as the nuance that he puts into the guitar playing.
Oh yeah.
Different, just using different sounds and his control, and it's a really incredible album, and I wish you all the best with it, man. I really do.
Oh man, I
Great.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
So let's talk about you. Grew up
Hell yeah.
in Texas.
Yes, sir.
What was your where were you a good student?
I always tried to be anyway. I mean, I was a A B student until I want to say I hit about 16 years old, and I discovered pot, and that kind of made me struggle for a little bit. Straight edge up until I was about 26. From I want to say about 18, 17 or 18 till 26, I was fully straight edge.
Okay.
And then just one day I decided drinking, not like hardcore drinking or anything, but have a few beers or a glass of whiskey here and there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Yeah, that's a musician's path for sure, man. That's
Right,
you are not alone there. Um,
right now.
so how old were you when you first started getting into music, and what was the first things you were listening to?
Man, that's a long story. I mean, I've always had music as like somewhat part of my life. Uh, I was born in Gainesville, Texas, which is about an hour north of where I live now. Um, and I remember the first artist. I wouldn't even say like I mean it's definitely the first band, but the first musical artist I ever really remember gravitating towards is my older brother had Smashing Pumpkins' "Melancholy and Sadness" on cassette, and I want to say like 6 or 7 whenever he bought that, and I remember just gravitating towards a few of the songs on that record. Obviously, him being the kid that was constantly listening to the radio, he always picked out the singles from that record, like "Bullet with Butterfly Wings" and "Zero" and stuff like that. But I have since revisited that record multiple times, and it's still one of my absolute favorite records of all time. And there's so many good, like heavy, just like Tales of the Scorched Earth, like just heavy songs on that record. And Billy's guitar tone is, in my opinion, one of my favorite fuzz tones of all time. He's just got a immense tone. Um, so yeah, Smashing Pumpkins being the first thing, but I really didn't really get into rock or metal until I was 13 or 14 years old. Before that, it was, I mean, I lived in black neighborhoods. I was raised by rednecks, so I listened to a lot of hip hop and a lot of like hip hop and Motown stuff like that.
Oh,
So
shit.
a lot of country music, a lot of hip hop, a lot of Motown. A lot of my mom listened to some classic rock, but it wasn't like a huge part of my palate. Um, until she saw me getting into rock in my teen years, and she started introducing me to some of the bands she grew up on. And what's crazy is, my grandfather saved a lot of her records. Like I went to visit him a few years ago when he was still alive. I went to visit him a few years ago, and he just had this massive record collection of my mom's that he just kept. And he had, Fandango from ZZ Top, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road from Elton John. He had there were some other really like, solid records, just rock records like Led Zeppelin 4, I think he had as well. And just like, "Granddad, are these yours?" And he goes, "No, those are your mom's." I was like, "Oh man, well, you were about to like win a bunch of brownie points with me for a second." But yeah, so my mom had a pretty eclectic taste in music, and she kind of shared that with me once she saw me getting interested in music.
Yeah.
And I remember, I want to say the first band that made me want to get into a band, and I know the metal purists are gonna, their eyes are gonna be twitching, but Avenged Sevenfold was one of the first
Huh?
bands I saw that made me want to get into heavy music. And
Wow.
Slipknot was another one because Slipknot was at their height. Iowa had just came out. Actually, no, it was Volume 3, their third album, the one with Duality, Before I Forget, and all that. So I
Yeah.
remember seeing the Duality music video and just being like, whoa, I got to go back into their back catalog in Iowa, then just destroyed my mind. Wow, that's so heavy. I'd never heard anything like that as a kid, and then there it was, and all this new metal at that time was just blowing my mind. And from there, I kind of got.
No,
What's up?
I'm sorry.
I was like,
I'm sorry.
no worries. From there, I just kind of got more into metalcore stuff and the hardcore, and then I discovered punk bands. I did a lot of backtracking with music. I would find newer bands, and then I'd be like, well, who are their influences? And I'd go and listen to older bands that I'd never. How I heard Exodus for the first time. That's how I heard Mr. Bungle for the first time. So a lot of like the metalcore bands that I was into in my teen years are influenced by a lot of the bands that I listen to today.
Wow.
So, and that's how I got into.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna compare you any because I mean, basically, you're a rock band, and it's very. That's what I'm gonna label it. I'm not gonna. You guys are not defined by anything because you're all over the map stylistically.
Yeah.
You do have a little tinge of Pink Floyd, a little bit of tinge of Mr. Bungle, a little bit of Tool, a little bit
Mhm.
of just. I mean, like I said, it's all over the map, and it's it's very very cool, and that's the kind of music that I love. I mean,
Right.
Mr. Bungle is one of my favorites, and my Faith No More. Um, I also like you when I found music as a kid, I went back and found other influences and then found what they were listening to. And a lot of times it didn't take hold. I remember, uh, I forget who it was, but somebody was like, I really love Elvis Costello, man. And so I tried to get into it and it wasn't my thing. And it wasn't that I didn't like it. It's just not, okay. It's that, just, and you had to find out your own path of what you like,
Right.
you know? So,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like in high school, man, I was kind of balls to the wall with the metal stuff that I if it wasn't as heavy as it possibly could be, I got really into deathcore there for a little while, and a lot of like the classic death metal bands as well that they were influenced by. So a lot of Cannibal Corpse, a lot of Cattle Decapitation, Job for a Cowboy, stuff like that. And then I got into, I want to say, right after like toward the end of my senior year, and then once I graduated, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of, I'm tired of listening to the same thing over and over. Lots of nothing but breakdowns. I was like, let's mellow it out. And then I got on a real big like indie rock kick for a while, and was like listening to a lot of these like poppy indie rock bands. And I was like, hey, I mean, there's something different here. There's more of a traditional songwriting structure, but it was something that I wasn't used to hearing. So it kind of steered me away from that heavier side of things. But I still have, I mean, I've never let it go. That heaviness that I always gravitate towards.
yeah.
On a bad day, you can throw on a heavy as balls record and just bang your head, and it all goes away.
Yeah.
It's not
My
much
guilty,
that.
my guilty pleasure is Green Day. I mean, I love
Oh, yeah.
I love their songwriting process. They are excellent songwriters. The composition is great. They don't leave any thought on anything, and and they're really good dudes. And that's my guilty pleasure. And when I tell metalheads out, they're like, and I'm like, look, man, let me tell you, man, Green Day was knocking it out in Oakland back in the day when it was just clubs and nothing, and
Oh, yeah.
they earned their dues, and but yeah,
Green Day was big for me. I listened to basically whatever my older brother was listening to when I was a kid, and Green Day was one of his favorite bands when I was a kid. So everything up until like I think American Idiot, we were obsessed
yeah,
with. And then
yeah.
American Idiot came out, and their styles changed kind of a lot, but they weren't singing about farts and stuff. So
Matt, yeah. Yeah, I think I actually kind of I got up to my favorite album by them was The Warning, and that was kind of where I once they did that one, the next one was okay, and I'm like, I just stuck with The Warning, and that's the one album I listened to.
I don't know. I was a big Nimrod.
But,
I was a big Nimrod
uh,
fan. I think the Grouch was my favorite.
yeah,
I think Queen for a Day about a little boy who's into cross-dressing, something that was
Mhm.
hilarious about that to me,
Yeah,
at the tender age that they were singing about. I just thought it
yeah,
was
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, there was like Rancid was Bay Area punk, and then I mean, there was Pennywise, Southern California.
Right.
There was Circle Jerks in New York. You had the Cro-Mags and Agnostic Front and Hatebreed from Connecticut. And you had all these different influences from all this stuff, and I what's crazy is I listened to it all, man. I listened to that. I
Oh, yeah.
listened to Slipknot. I listened, and that's like one of the beautiful things about life is being able to, and take it all in and then go and create something that's yours because your album you couldn't tell where I mean there's a couple influences but you can't really like you're not like you don't sound like Cannibal Corpse, you don't sound like
Yeah.
there's but for a second there's some death metal going on and there's some really heavy music going on and then it's just that's the music that I love the most, man. It's and you guys are doing it, man. You guys are a very cool band. And one of the things I want to talk about, your vocals. You're all over the place, man. It's crazy. You have this angelic, clean voice that's really cool, and you layered it really well, and you harmonized it really well, and you got a crazy heavy voice too, which is awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That's a big compliment coming from you, man. I've followed Generation Kill, I think, longer than I've followed Exodus. I saw Generation Kill at I used to live in New York. I moved to New York right after high school. So I lived there from 2010 to 2013, and that was right around the time that you you played at Fontana's Bar in Manhattan.
Oh,
And
that little place.
yeah, that little basement place, and I saw you guys
Yeah.
there, and y'all just absolutely destroyed that basement.
Oh man, thank you. That was fun.
Yeah, it was a fun show, and I was like, "Man, this is the singer for Exodus?" I was like, "I gotta go check out Exodus."
Yeah.
And I went back and I checked out Shovelheaded Kill Machine, and then I looked at their older stuff all the stuff that Rick's on and Zetro, and I was like, "Man, this is like two completely different bands. This is nuts."
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was 2 different bands, you know? Uh, yeah. So oh, that was crazy Fontana's. I didn't remember that.
I don't even think that
That's
place exists anymore.
I don't think so either. Actually, that's actually where I met my current drummer for the first time. He happened to be there that night, and
Oh yeah,
when the other drummer left, and he ended up joining the band, and he's still there now. Uh,
it's funny. Was he in one of the
yeah.
openers?
No, he was just a guy hanging out. He was hanging out with my friend Mike Villalago. He's he was like an AR rep for Electra. He's the guy that founded Metallica, and he found Rob Zombie.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, and he's a friend of mine, and he came to his show, and he would have Rob came with him. They came to go, oh, we gotta go check out this band. I think that was the first time we ever played the city. I mean, we were always playing like Jersey and the outskirts, and we
Yeah, I
got
saw you guys play Dingbats quite a bit.
yeah, that
Dingbats
was
was
different.
another
Yeah.
place I used to go to a lot. Whenever
Okay.
I lived in Manhattan, I had some buddies that were in a band out of New Jersey that they're no longer active, but they were a band called See Me Wake that were good buddies of mine. Um,
Okay.
and they played Dingbats all the time.
Yeah, it's
I
definitely
went to many shows there.
yeah, it's a good little grounding place to like play live, figure out who you are, figure out how to play live. They always give you a decent little crowd and
Oh
that's
yeah,
where we that's where we learned to play live because we were just a bunch of good friends hanging out, you know what I mean? And that's just
right.
kind of how it started. So anyway, thank you, man. I'm glad you're a fan, dude. That means a lot.
Yeah. So whenever Rick was like, "Hey, Rob wants to interview you," I was like, "Absolutely, let's do it. Let's make it happen."
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, me and Rick, I mean, we talk all the time, and, you know, I'll tell you about this, man, you know, I toured for a good decade with Exodus, and, my favorite tour was when Gary was on tour with Slayer and couldn't make it, and Rick came out on tour, and it was the most fun I've ever had on tour. I mean, he was, Rick is yeah, I mean, man, he's just such a
Absolutely.
beautiful, awesome human being, and being
He's
around him on an everyday basis is even more fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I cannot wait to like do actual. I mean, I've spent like several days with him just doing like video shoots and photo shoots and stuff. Like we shared a, it was me, him, and Sal in an Airbnb in Galveston during that first photo shoot, and that was a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, he's just a joy to be around. He's always happy. Like he just wants everybody to smile and have a good
Yep.
time. And so there's nothing better than to have somebody like that in your crew.
Yeah, and he's like, I mean, he he's like a brother to me, you know what I mean? He was the reason I joined X. He was the reason. He was my biggest fan always. He was like, "This is the guy. This is the dude," and they were like auditioning people or they were doing, and he was the one that was like, "No, we don't need. That's the guy." And I hadn't even really done it before. I had just done it a little bit, but Rick it was just he was my biggest fan. So I love that guy. And yeah, so when he came out with this, I know he doesn't want you to tell me, but he sent me a couple tracks like maybe like 8, 9 months ago. Just like
Right.
funny, just don't share it with anyone. I go, you know me, I won't, dude. And I was fucking blown away. I sat in my car and I listened to it really loud and I was fucking blown away. I'm like, dude, this is fucking amazing. And I was like, and then he told me about you, and I said, dude, everything from the lyrics to the music as a whole, this is just an astounding piece of work, man. And keep going. He's like, oh, we're going, man. We're gonna keep writing. And I'm like, cool, man, because it's fucking good. And then finally to see that it dropped and came out, and I want it to be successful. So I'm gonna push it as hard as I can. You know what I mean? Because I believe it. I believe it's a great fucking album. Yeah. So
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm incredibly proud of it. I think we all are. Everybody kind of put in good work on this album. Everybody did their part. I mean, we have, Josh was very much the ringleader and the organizer of like the base level stuff. And
yeah,
these songs at their most stripped down, and then he sends them off to me. I put vocals on them. He sends them off to Sal. Sal puts his drums on them, and then Rick was like one of the last touches because he did all of his leads over at Ulrich's in Los Angeles. And man, I mean, there were several tracks. I think at least two where they were complete like first time, first run. He just
yeah.
like that dude is an immense guitar player.
Yeah. Rick is he has he plays with so much feel. Like when I toured with him, so I toured with him when he was still in Exodus, and when I joined Exodus, he was still in the band.
Right.
And we did a demo of some of the songs on Shovel, and his stuff was so amazing. And I asked him, "Did you hear that?" He goes, "No, I'm hearing it for the first time today," and it was incredible, like how his mind worked musically. I'll tell you a story about Rick, man. One time we were in Chicago, and I wasn't in the band. Steve Escobar was singing, and
Another key player in this group that
yeah,
I'm sure Rick's told you about.
yep, and I love Steve, man, but
He's a good man.
He was singing for Exodus at the time, and I was the guitar tech, right? And
Right.
so we were in Chicago, and we were on tour with Megadeth, and I think we either got there late or we got there early, so we had some time to kill. So we like bummed around Chicago, and then we played our set, and then we weren't leaving until the next morning. So we had all night to hang out. And me, Rick, and Gary and Jack found this little blues bar. And we go in, we get a table. Those guys ordered drinks. I was drinking coffee, and Rick, all of a sudden, Rick is on stage with the band, and the guitar player came and hung out with us, and Rick is up there just shredding, and it was fucking awesome, man. I mean, he played for like an hour with this blues band, and it was incredible because he just was just off the cuff. Yeah, all right, and hey, go, boom, and it was just it was
Yeah,
so
he's
much
nuts
fun, man.
when he gets in the zone, man. It's really I cannot wait to play shows with that dude.
Yeah,
Because it's been a long time for all of us. I mean, Rick's probably played a show before all of us have this as because he played with Exodus not that long ago. But I mean, just getting on stage is something that we're all itching to do, and we have to do it right. Though we have to make sure all of our ducks are in a row. But once we get on stage, man, I cannot wait to just unload on people with that dude.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about um, how you want to approach playing live. So there's a lot going on.
Right.
You have sampling going on. You have violins. You have a ton of stuff. You have a ton of shit going on.
Yeah.
So explain to me, are you going to use like a full band? Are you going to go um, like, are you gonna have a horn player? Because some of the horn parts are so uh like prevalent in the
Right.
songs. So, um, are you gonna have backup singers? Are you gonna have? Is somebody gonna learn the harmonies and do it? So, because one thing about seeing some bands live is you never want to be the band that has backing tracks. I know that I from talking to you and talking to Rick, I can already tell you're not going to do that. So, how's your setup going to look? Are you going to have each member doing their thing?
Right. Well, in an ideal world, full a full horn section, a full string section, and ultimately at some point we would like to do that completely. We will more than likely have a touring violinist, a touring sax player, but there is some atmosphere that's in there that will probably need to be on a track in the background. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, because there are some samples that we just can't emulate without that backing track.
Are
So
you gonna have which your drummer gonna be doing that? Are you gonna be doing that?
no,
Is it
that's
gonna be
going to be our key player. Our key player is going to
okay?
do
All
most
right,
of the anything that needs to be played on the track is going to be coming from our key player.
I
Um,
get it.
and if that's the case, then which it's looking, the more that we are doing all like taking inventory of all the logistics it's going to take to make this possible. There's more than likely going
Yeah,
to have to be a click track that we play to.
yeah,
Aside from that, I mean, as much as we can make happen live, we're going to do. Um, but
get it.
realistically, I mean, without touring with like 13, 14, 15 people, we would need some backing tracks. Now, vocally, I can tell you, aside from the choirs in the chorus of Shell Shock and a few other things, it's
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have
Cool.
Greg, who's our key player. He's gonna do a lot of the backing vocals. If we can manage, I would like a female vocalist to do all the falsetto highs that I do on record,
Yeah.
because that's gonna be a lot less strain on Greg's voice,
Yeah.
and it's gonna sound good. I've always liked the sound of having a female backing singer.
I agree, man.
A lot of bands use them. Like Pussifer has female vocals on stage. Smashing
Yeah.
Pumpkins is now touring with a female vocalist for all of their backing vocals. So I like having that option if I need it. But we're still trying to work out all the kinks and figure out what the live show is going to look like.
Yeah.
Because you write this music and you record it, you release it, and then you got to figure out, how do we make this work. And so that's the
Absolutely.
stage. That's the stage we're in right now. Is trying to figure out, what exactly are we going to do to make all of this work live, because it is a lot and it is something that we don't want to skimp out on. We don't want to leave something out. So
Yeah.
it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of preparation, but we fully intend on playing shows as soon as we get that prep work done.
Yeah. I fly back to New York every, like 6 to 8 weeks just to rehearse and figure out stuff. And then, like you, there was one song on my new record where I used a female for the highs on a vocal part. And it was the only mellow song we did on the record. It was the only one that was a little different. And and when I've heard it, I actually heard it from hearing Pussifer live playing Mama Said
Yep.
or the Humbling River. I forget which one has the. And I was like, I need that. That's in my head when I was writing the song. I said, I hear this here, and then
Right.
that's how I made that happen.
What's
So
great about Pussifer is that, Karina Round is basically like the second vocalist now at this
mhm,
point. It started out with as like Maynard's project, but he's incorporated all these long-term members, and Karina's on those records just as much as he is at this point.
yeah,
And man, they are powerhouse. Like I love that. Like people love to say, you know, Tool's the best Maynard project. Perfect Circle's the best Maynard project. I'm a giant fan of Whisper. Like I like the weird risk taking. I've always gravitated towards the people who think outside the box, which is why Die Humane was so attractive to me. The last band I was in was like a proggy alternative, where I did a lot of similar vocal styles, not quite the same. There was a lot more uh, chuggy, genty, proggy stuff, but it still had that like Mike Patton style to it. But this one's got a lot more 90s grunge to it, I will say. I channeled a lot of Cornell on the record. I channeled a lot of Lane Staley tones on the record. I love. I mean, I grew up on 90s music, so it's very apparent that it's in my, you know, zone of influence.
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit of Nine Inch Nails on there. There's a little bit. There's a little bit of Pink Floyd with the atmospheric stuff, which is, you know,
which I love Pink Floyd as well. Dark Side of the Moon is my absolute favorite records of all time. And then Wish You Were Here is probably my second favorite of theirs.
Yeah, I agree with you. Those are my two faves. And Animals.
Animals is close third.
Yeah,
that's a
Pink Floyd's my favorite. Is one of my favorite bands. Queen's being my all-time favorite band, and Mike Patton's my favorite singer alive. I think
same.
He's just you know, him and Rob Halford are. You know, I don't even, if I had to, I couldn't put up one ahead of the other, but they're not in the same realm. They do something.
No, yeah, it's like apples and oranges. It's like comparing a broom to a mop. They both clean, but
exactly, man. I mean, yeah. So you know, I have and like you, man, you have eclectic taste, and so do I, and yeah, and that's why I really loved your album, man. I'm gonna push people to go get it. You know, I don't know if you know this already, but every time you guys put a post, I share it, I talk about it, I push it.
that's
I
awesome,
think
man.
one for my love of Rick, but also because I love the band. You know, you guys are great. And you know, some of the little nuanced songs that you have in between those little minute long atmospheric things. That hear a little that's where I knew you were a '90s kid. I was like, yeah, he's definitely grew up in the era past mine, so he kind of. And I get it, you know what I mean? And it's fucking cool. It's you know, it's cool to have that's the ability to open-mindedness to do that rather than just go from one track to another and one track to another. And yeah. So I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. It's really nice to talk to you.
I appreciate it, man. That's awesome.
All right, bud. Well, listen, man, be good, and I will talk to you soon.